Yo, welcome back. We're live, all of us. I think so. And you know what time it is? It's 1 o'clock on a weekday. 1 o'clock Central Standard Time, depending where you're at. But we are here and we are ready to get this thing going again. What up, Odd Squad? It feels damn good to say that because damn, I miss doing this show. Every day I woke up and said, man, I feel like I needed to be prepping. I feel like I needed to be a little sharper because I was in Vegas and things were just a little, let's call it blurry at times. But here we are, we made it back. And thank you for everyone that's still part of the Odd Squad. And hopefully you're still alive. And if not, RIP, we're going to have a shot for you because that's what we do here. And you know who's going to help me do it for the next hour and maybe a little over because we owe you a little extra time, a little injury time. My man Aaron at Aaron is Blitz. What's happening, Aaron?
Man, you sound like you lost your voice like crazy in Vegas, which I understand why, but
it was
come
wild.
on.
It was wild out there, bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, it was a week of wildness. It was a week of what they say in March Madness, and that's exactly what it was for me for many aspects. If you had anything crazy this week, 281-522-6336. Get in on the show. We're going to talk about the Madness brackets. We're going to talk about a little bit of everything because – man, it seems like it was another lifetime ago since we talked to you. Hear me. I feel like I can sing the blues. Some lady said, damn. Some old lady, I was telling my wife, we were checking out at the convenience store. She was just like, damn, do you do like a singing or radio? I was like, actually, yeah, we do a little. Hit us up on our takes. I was also telling Aaron, shout out to my man, Jason Forums from Tampa. We had the meet and greet for everyone in my private group picks. We went out there, met at Herbs and Rye, badass steakhouse. First thing he comes up, I meet him for the first time in person. He's like, hey, man, I'm glad to meet you. But he's been in the group for a while. Then his wife comes up, and she's like, man, Jerry Bow. I'm like, oh, shit. She knows my name. And then she's like, man, I listened to the show. In front of all the people, I just had to get up and say, I'm sorry. Sorry for anything that I've said. At which point she comes back and she's just like, nah, man, I dig it. I dig the show. Every time the marble races come on, I run there. So it was pretty cool to actually put some faces to some of you guys that listen to the show. And not only that, but the people that are in the private group. It was a swell of a time. I know you can hear it in my voice. And this is the way we're going to rock it. I almost thought about taking the whole week off. I tell you, everything was like, stay in Vegas. The flight gets delayed. Stay in Vegas. My wife hits $2,000 on a slot right before we're leaving. Stay in Vegas. I almost stayed in Vegas, but I came back for this because we can't keep missing shows. We have too much to catch up on. And what if you're, let's get right to the topics. What are your thoughts on the Madness so far? Any thoughts as far as obviously the Cougars are making their run as always, but it seems like we're spoiled as of late because this is what they do, right? They make the run in March. But anything else that stands up from any standpoint?
I mean, St. Peter's upsetting, screwing my bracket, screwing up so many other people's brackets. I mean, congratulations to those kids. They are they're putting their best foot forward. They're out there. They are playing so loose because I think they fought and they got that win over Kentucky. And then you watched them again on what was it? That was Saturday. Yeah, Saturday they moved on down to the Sweet 16. They're playing loose. They are playing like they're on dealer money now. They're on the casino's money. They're screw it. Let's go out there. Let's have some fun. Let's play the game that we've been playing since we were 4 or 5 years old. I think it's going to be interesting watching them match up with Purdue. I don't think they're going to be able to handle that gigantic fucking human. I don't even know if he is human. He's got to be part alien who's in the center for Purdue. But that's been very impressive. Watching Bruce Pearl in the SEC get bounced early and then crying about it because, our schedule is too hard. Motherfucker, you got 3 Big 12 teams in the Sweet 16. They all won their very first round. Get the hell out of here with this.
Yep.
No, our schedule's too hard. We beat up on each other in the SEC. No, you've got like 5 good teams in the SEC.
Did TCU
The Big
get
12
robbed?
has 10 good teams that are solid, that beat the shit out of each other all season. They were injured, they were run down, they were tired, and they came in there and they still took care of business for the most part. And now you got 3 Big 12 teams in the Sweet 16. Get out of here.
And did TCU get robbed? And at the end of that game, Arizona, are they playing on house money at this point? Because if you looked at that from a refereeing
I don't want to say they're playing on
standpoint-
house money because they were expected to be here. Yes, they won on a bad setup at the end, but they were expected to be here. Like St. Peter's, nobody thought they were getting out of the first round anyways. Now they're 2 rounds deep already, and they're looking at each other going, What do we got to lose? We weren't even supposed to be here.
Now, though, does the Cinderella foot, though, like, does now that the light is on them? Because if a coach was probably given 5 interviews within the last 2 months on a national level, is now probably the center stage because they are the only true Cinderella left. Now that light's on them, you see. So now they play with a little bit of different of a pressure. So I think it's a double edge.
It can be. I think the pressure for that is more on the coaching staff than it is on the kids. Because, I mean, you got to remember, a lot of these kids are 19, 20, 21. I mean, it's St. Peter's, so nobody's doing one and done there. So you probably got some 21, 22, maybe even a 23-year-old because of COVID year.
Mm-hmm.
You've got some grown men there, but I still don't think that they're feeling nearly as much as the coaching staff who has to deal with, well, if we get another round, then all of a sudden we're all moving up to a bigger league. We're all moving up to a bigger job. I mean, we've already seen it once. Murray State's head coach yesterday was announced that LSU went and swiped him away from Murray State. So now as Murray State heads to the Missouri Valley Conference, they're now at up shit creek because they have a lot of great athletes that they could dominate that conference. They just lost the coach that got them there. So it's going to be interesting to see what the mid-majors do and how everything rearranges and what, the coaching staff from St. Peter's ends up doing. Are they happy being the big fish in the small pond? Are they happy catching lightning in a bottle? Or are they going to try to parlay this into something bigger and better and, either succeed or drown? We don't know, but we'll see.
What we got to see is what's going to happen in these brackets. I can't even get into the rest of this madness without even giving an update on the brackets. Looking right now, as we stand right now going into the Sweet 16, Virginia Buttonweed out in the front. Then you got Clue Patron also out there tied. So you got, 470 points each. So there's a tie for first place. Then you got my man Aaron, which he would be tied with them. He is tied as of right now. But if you look at that, who he had as a national champion, he had those Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah, not good. St. Peter's, you screwed me. It's okay.
Alex Villeneuve was always also in the mix. I'm just giving a little update here. Q's Orange is tied. We got a few ties. Stephen the Weather Guy, Day One Donna, Aggie Milkman, Queen Bean Spice. We got a group of people. So we got that tie for first place at 470, and then we got a group of people in the 440 range. So you know how this goes.
Pookie had 7 brackets and you only filled out one of them?
Nah.
Dude.
Nah.
That's gotta be a joke. Are you serious right now? You had 7 brackets in this tournament, and you are literally. Oh
man, I don't even know what to say about this.
I mean, let's look at this. Let's see if we can get rid of this part because we'll talk about that later. But good Lord, you had 7 brackets, Pookie, and you filled out 1. We sat there and we talked about, you and I texted back and forth of, holy crap, we got some guys got 7 brackets, 8 brackets, 6 brackets. There's some real contenders. You've got some options where you can spread out your favorites and stuff like that and make sure you hedge your bets. And Pookie had 7, didn't feel, wow, damn.
That's a picture says a bracket of integrity.
Yeah. Hey,
it works. Had 10 brackets, but he still got about 2 or 3. It's still in the running, though. As soon as one of your teams gets knocked out, this is still up and going. It's nowhere close to be finished, but these are just updates of where we stand now. And like I tell you, you hear it in my voice. It was a party. You're going to hear later on, you see on the topics menu, it says the Bo Vegas Diaries. And you're going to get to see a little glimpse of what a pool party goes down for that opening Thursday. It gets a little wild because you got to keep in mind that it was also St. Patrick's Day. It's like the gambling gods got together with they called the party guys. They're like, hey, what the fuck y'all doing? Like, well, we're going to happen to be in Ireland. Oh, yeah? Well, that's cool. How about we throw opening day, March Madness? Yeah. And then we'll also do St. Patty's Day. And that's what happened on that day. And this is what happened to me. I made it out alive in one piece. Almost had a couple of occurrences. You're going to feel me. I got some stories to tell you. There were almost hands thrown. And you're going to hear, if you see both Vegas Diaries is at the end. But the madness is here. We gave you an update on the brackets, a little update of what we thought was crazy or not so far. But let's get to, because, boy, whenever I left, I told you when we come back, we're probably going to have news about Watson. We're probably going to have news about this. But the last thing I expected, and we're going to start with makeups here, makeups. Last thing I expected to wake up from a half hangover is to look and see that Tom Brady's back in football. Like, I had to look like, are we talking about in the booth? And they said, no, he's playing football. And I said, damn it, here we go. Then I run to the gambling odds, and supposedly there was people that were way ahead of the ball. Did you hear about this, Aaron?
Yeah. This was, I still wake up every morning. I prep for a show, whether I'm doing it or not here with you. Apparently, Vegas sports books saw a lot of money come in the Thursday before, because he announced it on Sunday, right? And they announced that Thursday before, a bunch of money poured in across all these sports books out in Vegas, which means that it was probably a couple of guys who had intel, and they decided, because sportsbooks will only let you put down so much on weird stuff like that, they went and they dropped a little bit here, a little bit there, going all across town, making sure they put money on the Bucks. The Bucks got a lot of money on Super Bowl futures, and then lo and behold, Sunday, Tom Brady goes, hey, by the way, guys, I'm back.
I didn't know what to think. Now, my man Josh Jordan told me whenever we spoke about it when it first happened, he was stressed. He said, man, I don't know, man. I just didn't, seeing the way Tom is, I just don't see him just walking off like this, especially in his best moment. As far as stats, you saw him. Yards, the man still has it. Usually when you leave because although Manning was able to get, his Super Bowl, whatnot, he still left on one leg. Manning was throwing ducks. That's not what Brady was doing. Brady was out there still dicing. And if you look at what the books did, they were taking big bets. People try to get sneaky because obviously someone knew. That's where we're going to get in gambling. If the odds move drastically and somebody makes a significant bet, yeah, something's up. But now that the lines are settled, because I was reading into it a little bit deeper, some books said that Watson was an option for the Bucks at one point, so they didn't have him as high as a team that had no quarterback at all, or a chance to get a quarterback. So they had him kind of set there. But now that the Bucks have Brady, and now that they're getting other pieces, they got Leonard Fournette back. If we're talking about makeups, they make up with Leonard Fournette. Obviously, I'm thinking that has to be tied to keeping Brady comfortable. What's the point of bringing in another running back right now at this point and not keeping Brady comfortable? Brady's probably like, all right, just bring my guys back. I'm back. Let's do this. Pay these guys. Let's make this happen. I need the same guys around me. Here we are. Brady's back. I don't know what the hell to think about this. Is it? 40 days is it what it lasting?
Something like that, yeah.
40
because,
days?
MLB lockout lasted longer.
Yeah,
than Tom Brady's retirement.
We can't call this a retirement.
And everybody had the same jokes. Of course, Tom Brady spent 38 days with his kids and said, screw this. I ain't going to pick up kids from school and doing homework and shit like that. Fuck that. I can go play games still and make millions of dollars. Giselle, you're on your own.
This can't go down in history as a retirement.
No, that's not a retirement.
Like Jordan retired and then
play baseball.
Yeah, this can't go down as a retirement.
No.
Unless you lived in this era and understood exactly what happened, you're not going to be able to just don't tell your friends that this was a damn retirement 20 years later.
I think we're going to call it the Brady break in the future. I think that's what it's going to be called. Because we've seen other players kind of do it for a little, they've retired a little bit longer, 5-6 months, and then come out of it. But I think now anytime a player takes less than a season and they say they retired for less than a season and automatically come back, it's going to be the Brady break.
TD Pookie said Jesus also rested for 40 days. True.
He did.
Carlitos Takes. Hey, what's up, first-time chatter? He said, let's be clear, you're not a real one if you got more than one bracket. That boy said he'll do it on one leg. And I'm telling you this, there's going to be a new contest. The new contest, there's 16 teams, right? This is the contest. We're going to do a blind draw. So only 16 of you are going to get a chance. So we're going to have to do this before Thursday, right? Because that's the games. So however Aaron figures out we're going to give these 16 entries, whether you call in and you do it through trivia, bam, you get one of those blind draws. Once we get 16 teams, we're going to draw live. Name, team. So it's going to be no skill to this. And whoever wins that, I'll tell you the prize pack before, but it's going to maybe some baseball tickets since baseball is back. Maybe baseball's back ever since I'm gone. It feels like it's been a lifetime.
Everything has been coming back.
Everything.
We got players coming out of retirement. We've got players re-signing with certain teams. We've got baseball now going on. Like, you missed a lot.
we got a lot of makeups. Another makeup here. We talked about running back Leonard Fournette. What about newfound running back Cordero Patterson, and he gets money? Was he not the fantasy darling of the year this season? Everyone that had Cordero Patterson, if you didn't draft him, that's obviously no one drafted him. You picked him up and you got lucky.
Yep. You picked him up off the scrap heap at the end of the draft or after week 1. And you went, you know what? Let's see what we can do with him. And he ended up going off for you. So yeah, dude got paid. I've made it clear how I feel about paying running backs. Even Derrick Henry. I still don't like paying Derrick Henry. He is the anomaly.
How do you feel about this makeup? The Saints missed the ball on Deshaun Watson, so they re-up on Jameis Winston. I'm not sure if he's even going to be 1A or 1B because they still got Taysom Hill, which got paid by a coach that's not even there anymore.
So the AFC or the NFC South is just a train wreck right now. You have the Falcons who shipped off Matt Ryan. They couldn't get Deshaun Watson. They ship off Matt Ryan for a 3rd-round pick, and they grab Marcus Mariota. Okay, it's tanking time in Atlanta. Okay, then the Saints go, and they go, yeah, well, we couldn't get Deshaun Watson either. We've got Taysom Hill under contract. You know what? Let's just throw the Winston Hill duo out there at quarterback and see what we can do.
That sounds like a cheap liquor, the Winston Hill.
It sounds like cheap cigarettes. It sounds like a crappy. It sounds kind of like a Better Call Saul type of law legal firm. Winston
you got
and
a
Hill.
Cigarette? Yeah, 10-cent cigarettes.
Yeah.
Those are the ones they sell on the hood by the singles. Yeah. So then, okay, then who do you got on Atlanta? Rosen? Josh Rosen?
Yep.
Brady's looking around right now in this division. Darnold?
Yeah.
He's looking around. Brady's looking around right now like
He was licking his chops.
Brady's just looking. He doesn't even have to say nothing. Look at the division. But what do we find in common with what Brady had in New England? A pretty simple division until the Bills circled the wagon finally.
They did, and it took them long enough to. But I don't have any faith that within the next 2 years, Saints, Falcons, Panthers are going to be respectable. I don't think that's happening.
No.
They all need to just look at it and go, you know what? It's time to go scrape the bottom of the barrel for a while and try to rebuild. And it's going to be a race to see which one can rebuild fastest. But the NFC South is not good. The NFC South is just downright ugly. And it's going to be ugly football going forward this season and next season probably too.
Yeah. Just the AFC in general, though, it seems like it's so much stronger than the NFC to me. And especially after a lot of these moves, I look at the odds, though, and now the odds, if you're looking at Super Bowl odds, it looks like the Bills are head-on favorites on their own 7-1 range, depending also where you get it at. But then if you look slightly behind them is where you get that other gap of the Bucks, the Rams, and all the other teams that can make their run. But do you classify the Bills as head and shoulder favorites at 7-1 right now?
I think so. I like what the Patriots are doing. They brought Trent Brown back. They're trying to get that line pieced back together so they can protect Mac Jones. I think they're going to go out and get him some weapons too in the draft. But I still like the Bills. I think the way Josh Allen plays, I think they're on the right path. I think they're building something that can last for a while. I like them as a division favorite.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, we talked about a few makeups, a few guys that found their home, but the real thing that we got to get to, and we're going to jump around a little bit here, we're going to get to breakups because according to here in this city, in the talk of the town, and this is where the phone lines open up, 281-522-6336. The breakup that we knew needed to happen finally happened. Deshaun Watson finally out of town. We've been hoping to find out what the hell was going to be the return. Where was he going to go? I didn't expect the Cleveland Browns, but we saw Baker basically throw his hand to the wind and say, goodbye, basically, and that he needed more respect. And you knew something was coming. There was wind of something. And shortly after, the Browns throw the house at Deshaun Watson. I know Browns fans rejoicing, but what did you think of the deal when you first saw it?
I actually was not nearly as upset as Texan fan was, as some media members were, because you could get more, you should get some players. I agree. You should have gotten at least one young player to add to your roster who's already proven that he can handle time in the league. at the same time, the Texans worked their way into this. They went and gave Deshaun Watson everything he wanted. They let him choose where he was going. They pulled that kind of BS, and it's kind of ridiculous. They get what they deserve on that. And, I think the Cleveland Browns are completely stupid for what they did in trading for him and everything. But, we don't know. I talked about this yesterday when I was on Twitch by myself. We have no idea if it's true, but Tony Busby said every team that was looking to trade for Deshaun Watson reached out to his office to just say, hey, at least give me a rundown on your side of the story. We know his side of the story. We've talked to his people. What's on your side with your clients? And Tony Busby said the Browns were the only team that didn't do it.
Yep.
Take it with a grain of salt, but if that's half true, if they only said, hey, do you think any of these are going to go to trial? And he went, I don't know. We're still trying to figure out. And they went, all right, that's good enough. That's still kind of sleazy. And the Browns are catching shit for it, and they should. If they didn't actually do any due diligence, and the way they structured this contract too, with he only gets paid $1 million this year because they're expecting him to get suspended. They're expecting him to get dinged at least 6 games, if not a whole season, depending on how this goes.
Let me stop you there because that's where a point starts. So then if that's the case, then why do the books make the Cleveland Browns now the odds-on favorite at plus 180? That means what you saying, then they shouldn't be at plus 180 if they're going to be missing Watson to win the division. Right? Right now, if you go to your books, the Cleveland Browns are the favorite. And if you think that he's going to be suspended X amount of games, right? And if the Browns did a 1-year deal for that first part, then they think so as well. Put 1 and 1 together, ting ting. That means that there's obviously. Then you look at this is the way I look at these kind of bets. Then you look at the Steelers and they're way down there, like at 10-1 or something like that, because they don't, and I'm a Steelers guy. I don't think they have any chance of winning the division. So then if you spread a little money out on the first 2 or the middle 2 teams, being the Ravens or the Bengals, the one that's just won the division and picked up La'el Collins. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about breakups. Breakups might hurt the Cowboy faithful now, but Collins finds a new home, and now he's calling himself the bodyguard. And he said that now he's in town, no one's touching Joe Burrow. And whenever we talked about Joe Burrow, last thing you remember is him getting touched up quite a bit during those playoffs. It was a miraculous run, and he literally left on one knee. Well, Collins is in town now, another breakup that we saw, and that just fits in right to where we are now. Hey, shout out to everyone in the house. Day One Donna said she forgot we were on. Yeah, Day One Donna was in the lead for a while. I think you're tied for 6th right now, but you're the 6th tie is really 1st and 2nd are tied, and then there's a big old jumbled up. We talked about it earlier on the show if you want to rewind it. But yeah, you're up there. There was a few of you that switched spots through, I think, that last day of games, but everyone's still in it. Thanks so much. First time chatter, hey, shout out to everyone. This is the way y'all want to
with the 100 bits. B Hannon with the 100 bits. Appreciate it, guys.
Let's get to what my man Carlito says right here, though, because he says they literally got the worst deal on the table getting the 13th pick. And we're talking about the Watson thing. And he's talking about that they should have got at least a player, something guaranteed guy. I understand that because the only reason I understand it is because if you look at that Cleveland roster, you're thinking, dog, we had to take something. Like, you didn't just show up and you didn't just take anything. You know what I mean? You took something. And they didn't take anything, but at the same time, it's what were they going to give up that's really worthwhile? Or at this point, do you just want to have a bunch of picks? But how often do these 3rd to 6th round picks usually add up? You have to hit. The Texans have trouble hitting on 1st and 2nd rounders as it is, much less back then.
Yeah, so getting back to how I feel about the actual trade. Ooh, thank you, Donna. Thank you for the bits. So as much as I say I'm okay with, they should have gotten a player and stuff, get them out. They need to move on. I don't even like the damn franchise, but the franchise needs to be able to move on and not have to constantly deal with these questions going forward. If you like Davis Mills and you think he's potentially a quarterback of the future, he doesn't need to deal with this kind of shit. He doesn't need cameras around following the would-be starter who decided he didn't want to be around. Bye. Dude, you quit on the team. You said you wanted out. Cool. Go have fun in Cleveland. You deal with that. And yes, the Texans got what they got. And Carlitos, I get what you're saying about I get what you're saying about they only got the 13th pick this year in the draft, but I don't think they're picking with that pick. I think they're going to trade that pick back. I think they're going to end up picking up. I think what they're going to do is end up moving some of the picks that they got from Cleveland and maximizing how many draft picks they have between next year's draft and this year's draft. I think that's what they're going to do. And I like the way you look at it that, Vegas thinks that Deshaun's going to play because they have the Browns as the favorite for the division. But say he doesn't. I mean, shit, last time we saw him play, he led a team to 4 wins. What does that team win if he's not starting?
And I mean, you got to keep in mind that the NFL is going to make, you know how the NFL is. This smells of a 6-ish. It smells of a 6-ish game suspension. If you add up the pieces, just because he got off on one thing, the NFL's, there's still a lot of blowback from this. There's still going to be a lot of PR from this. No matter what, it's something still, it's still going to be there. And I understand your thought because you're saying, who would you rather go with, Vegas here? And that's a great point. If Vegas is standing there and they're putting their foot down on the plus 180 saying no, that means that they're obviously thinking something. But even with, to Aaron's point, even with Watson, should they be a plus 180 in that division against those two teams? What makes the Bengals not be the favorite? What makes the Ravens not be the favorite over a new team with Watson? And yes, I get it with Cooper, and yes, I get it. I get it with the run game. But to be that head over favorites, or is this a we're living in the moment type of thing?
I think it is. And you got to remember, Case Keenum's no longer a Cleveland Brown. So say he does get 6 games. I honestly think he's going to get 8 or 10 games, and then he'll appeal it down to 6. And say he does miss 6 games. You have Jacoby Brissett coming in as the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. And while he has proven that he can be a Texan killer and he can be a game manager when you need him to, he's getting older. I don't know if he's going to be able to do what he did before. What do you give them? 2, depending on what those games are, they win 2 out of those 6 games with Jacoby Brissett as the quarterback?
To the point of here, what do you think about Watson throwing in the snow? Asymmetric risk makes a great point. Potch Gaming, what's up, Potch? Saying first game for Watson thrown in the cold should be interesting. First snow game, for example, he's gonna have to. It's a memory. It used to be the black and blue division. Them boys were bruised up. No matter what, the Steelers, even in a bad year, the Steelers are still going to be a tough team to beat at home. It's still just a Steeler way. They're going to make it look ugly. It's going to be different. Yeah, obviously he's got a new outlook with things, but I don't know. Well, I'm yet to see. I'm not sold. Now we're talking about Baker. Is Baker, what happens with Baker? Well, funny thing here, because we're talking about breakups. That's what makes this segment so easy to flow through, because Baker, on the other hand, a week ago, he was calling up the coach like, hey, girl, what you doing? Well, he was talking to the voicemail because the girl didn't know about him. Well, that girl found a new dude. And that new dude in Indianapolis is Matt Ryan. A breakup in Atlanta, a breakup whenever you say, man, how much is divorce going to cost me? I just need you out of my life. Whether it's a girl that's tired about him, I need this sucker out of my life, or vice versa, and he needs her out of her life. Just take it. Take the house. I don't care. Well, in this form of dead money, the Falcons said, just take this guy. We'll pay $40 million dead cap money. Just get him off our damn hands. Matt Ryan, Indianapolis Colts. Matt Ryan, what are your thoughts on that?
I like the move for the Colts. I think they picked up a guy who is vastly more talented than Carson Wentz.
Whew.
I think you've got, with the running game you've got there, I think, you've seen some guys saying, hey, let's go grab Julio Jones. He's not with the Titans anymore. Go grab him. Let's kind of rebuild a little mini coalition of the Falcons.
He'll be out there for 3 games, Julio.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Are we sold on Julio still? Are you out there right now? You guys sold on Julio? Because I thought the same thing, and Julio came out, and they're tagging him in there. I think is Darius Leonard tagged him and said, yo, Julio, what you doing? But at the same time, if it makes Matt Ryan the statue, but what do you get Matt Ryan in the statue? A badass offensive line. You get Big Quentin Nelson, Big Q. Big Q out there protecting. I mean, when you talk about best pass protecting lines, you think about Indianapolis. But then you think about, how the hell do they have one of the best upcoming running backs, if not the number 1 pick in fantasy football next year, in Jonathan Taylor? So what does Matt Ryan need to have? Just a few pieces? What do you think about the Colts? Because now they are the favorites tied with the Falcons real close too to be the division winners.
I actually like them as a division winner. I think, and they still have draft picks that they can go use to go continue to build their roster this season. But also, the Colts did this in a way that you got to remember, they fell in love with Sam Ehlinger last season. He came in preseason and he lit it up, and then he got hurt. And they said, you know what, we're going to keep him. You know, they wasted a low ass pick on him. They said, we're going to hold on to him. We think we can do something with him. If you let him sit behind Matt Ryan for a year and you wait, or you put him in special situations, they might be sitting on what is going to be their franchise quarterback after the Matt Ryan era is over in Indy. So I like the move because it also buys them time to see what Sam Ehlinger is and if they need to. But Barry and I was commenting on his chat yesterday. I think Matt Ryan is a vast improvement over Carson Wentz.
Oh yeah, I mean, what do we even, at this point? But okay, so is it crazy to think that the Commanders gave up yes, I understand it's a conditional third, but it's still a third. It could be a second for Wentz, and then you could have got Matt Ryan for a third. Like, what the hell's going on here? Somebody dropped the ball there.
No, I think, the Commanders were in more of a hurry. The Commanders wanted to get their quarterback in place because on paper, the Commanders should be a respectable team. They should easily be a second-place team in the NFC East right now. That defense that they have on paper is legit. And then what did they do last year? They went and shit the bed. The NFC East is not good. They wanted to go and get their quarterback just to say, hey, look, Cowboys should be the favorites. We want to make a run at it. We want to see if we can, if we get the right QB and we can lock them down, we can get this division going. Now, they weren't willing to play the waiting game. The Colts were. The Colts knew by the time that they moved Carson Wentz, they looked at what Deshaun Watson was doing. They looked at all the other teams and knew, all right, the Colts played it smart because, and I pointed this out several times over the last couple weeks, every single one of these teams that was courting Deshaun Watson, every one of them had a guy under contract already who was under a good-sized contract or was up to be a franchise, to get their actual, their big contract coming up, like Baker Mayfield. You had the Saints, who, you got Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill. They weren't counting. But you have the Falcons, you had the Panthers, you had the Browns, you had, who else was in there? Who else was supposedly in the mix? The Seahawks. You had teams that they had to go, and whoever lost had to go back to that quarterback, like a Matt Ryan or a Baker Mayfield, and go, sorry about that. It's like going back to that girlfriend that you got caught cheating on with, and you're going, babe, you're my number one. I was just kidding. I was just talking to her in the bar, and she made a move, so I just wanted to see where it went. And then her boyfriend walked in, and I realized, you know what? She was out of my league anyways, but you're my number one. Babe, I promise you, you're my number one. And both Mayfield and Matt Ryan looked at both the Falcons and the Browns and said, see ya. If I'm not your number one, if I'm not your main piece, go find some other side piece. See ya.
315 makes a great point. Is this Ryan that we're getting in this version, is he going to be better than the Rivers?
Oh, yeah. Phillip Rivers was falling apart at that point.
That was a real bad Rivers. But you see that the Colts keep trying to reignite these flames that, yeah, let's bring in Phillip Rivers. He's still got a little something. Yeah. And where's Phillip Rivers? Look at his receivers. Look at his tight end situation. Look at his backfield. He had little weapons around him, right? And here they go. Oh, here comes Frank Reich. Let's get Carson Wentz. Well, you saw that ended up. And now they go to the table with Matt Ryan. Well, let's get Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan fell just shy of 4,000 yards.
He did his thing.
Who was his number one receiver last year? He had Calvin Ridley.
He was gambling.
Calvin Ridley's gone.
And remember, Calvin Ridley was sitting out many of games, so he didn't play. He had a bust at the tight, not a bust, but a tight end that really didn't live up to the numbers that were expected the first year. A tight end that was supposed to be an AKA wide receiver, and that's it. So yeah, you're right.
And so he threw for just under 4,000 yards. Of all those starting quarterbacks, he was throwing for 67% completion rate. He still protects the ball fairly well. You've got something more than what you had out of Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers was already on the downslope. He was at the bottom of the valley on his downslope. Matt Ryan I think we've seen him peak, but he is able to glide down the slope, not just roll like a Bugs Bunny cartoon into the snow.
Hi and bye, Queen Bee Spies. Nice to see you. Patterson was his best player. That's why Patterson got paid.
Yeah.
Cordell Patterson all of a sudden got paid.
But how many other ones are out there that, it made sense for? How many other ones are out there how many other people on that roster did you look at and go, oh, that's legit? That's, Matt Ryan was out there. He was chucking to some number ones. He was chucking to guys who would easily be a starting one or two on other teams. No. Kyle Pitts didn't live up to what they thought.
Exactly.
And that's not saying he won't, but you expected him to get Kyle Pitts, and that was the whole thing. As Falcons fan, we got Calvin Ridley, we've got Cordarrelle Patterson, we've got Kyle Pitts. We can make this offense unstoppable. Well, it stopped. It hit the brakes a lot.
And then this is where we hit the brakes. Not the full stop, because it's time for marbles. And if you weren't here earlier, there's a new game in town. If you find your bracket busted, if you had Kentucky, there's 16 spots up because there's 16 teams left, and somebody calls them Sweet 16. One of those teams could be yours. From here to Thursday, we're going to give out a blind draw. If you get your name put into this winner's 16, right? Whether it's through the trivia, whether it's how many Aaron gives you. From here to Thursday, 16 winners. On Thursday, after the show, we're going to have a special little 5-minute thing. We'll pick a name, we'll pick a team, blind draw. So there's no brackets about it. It's straight up who's lucky. How lucky? To win a game ticket to the Astros or whatever city you're in. I'll buy you 2 tickets to the ballpark. Now, you're not going to sit down there where you're going to get hit in the head by a sunflower seed by Altuve. Jerk. I got kids. But I will put you in the stadium somewhere. And for right now, I'm going to put you in the hands of Aaron. Don't go nowhere. Please, 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 please. 281-522-6336. Feel free to join in the show. If you get in the trivia, you win an automatic 2 brackets. I'm going to throw that out there. But please go to your social medias. Go to YouTube. Hit the thumbs up. Hit subscribe. Go to Amazon Prime. Whatever you got to do. Please, please, please stay with us. Takes.
All right, Odd Squad. All right, Odd Squad, let's see. It picked today. Oh, how fitting for today's weather. The track we're going to use is called Eye of the Storm. Oh, what's up, Dre? About time you get here. Yep, we're going to do some marbles here. Let's see. I'll pull this up on y'all's screen. Let me get my little timer going. I'm going to give you 1 minute and 5 seconds. 65 seconds. Exclamation point play. I hope you didn't forget how to do this. Exclamation point play in the chat, and then we'll start this in a minute. And let's see who asked. Somebody asked. Q's Orange. No, we're gonna do. You only get 1 entry. So there's gonna be 16 teams. There will be 16 winners between today's races, tomorrow's races, and then the first race on Thursday. And then that instead of doing the final race on Thursday, that's when we'll divvy them up and draw names out of a hat to see what 16 people, what 16 winners get their team to see how it goes. Exclamation point play in the chat. You got 30 seconds left. If you're in the other room, run your ass back in, get on that keyboard. Whoever designed this one with the rain sounds and everything, it's taking me back to this morning when I just wanted to lay back in bed and not do anything. All right, I hope y'all are ready. We're going. All right, everybody's off. They're racing. We got one team. We got You Suck Too. We got Aggie Milkman. Donna's in there. Let's see who goes down the giant spiral of shame fastest. Ooh, a few of y'all are already moving. Donna went out in first. Look at that. Look at that speed. I don't like this. I like this rainy course, but I'm not crazy about it after this morning. Ooh, Donna's got some heat now. Joel's catching up. Virginia Buttonweed's catching up. JM Sizzle's out there. Let's see. Virginia Buttonweed out in first. Joel's in second, not far off. Alex is out there in first now. Oh, by the way, first and second place are in the drawing for Sweet 16 teams. That's my bad, guys. I'll make it up to you somehow. Alex flying through the clouds of death. He's out there. Oh, Donna's flying. Donna's still flying. Joel Hernandez fell off. Cuse Orange fell off. A lot of y'all just didn't even make the jump. Let's see. Let's see if they make it. Alex Villanueva's got the turbine of death out there. Jimenez back there. One team, all those guys trying to catch up. Steven the Weather Guy. Oh, Steven the Weather Guy. How funny would that be? That's what we call irony. Alex Villanueva's in first. Virginia Buttonweed's in second. Dre's in third. Man, y'all are mean to JM Sizzle. Sizzle, there was no controls over the race. It's all just a random... It's the way the balls just roll. They're trying to be mean. All controls don't do anything. You can hit whatever you want on the space on your keyboard. It's not going to do a damn thing to your marble. All right. So congratulations to Alex. Oh. Congratulations to Alex of Virginia Buttonweed. We'll do another race, and I'll give out more stuff later. JM Sizzle will explain here after the break. We'll be right back, guys.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Odd Squad, welcome back to 815226336. If you, for some reason, didn't get top two, that's your chance to get your own bracket, your own destiny. Call in the show and get in on any of the topics. Go through this little gauntlet of trivia that we throw your way. Bam, you're on your way to the Sweet 16 yourself. Blind draw, no skills to it. Before you know it, you're going to be sitting at the ball game. And in a ball game that happens to be in whatever city you're from. But I know one thing, that if you're from this city, you win those tickets, you're going to be sitting in the ballpark with no Carlos Correa. And this is a special edition of We Talk to Makeups and Breakups and everything in between. Well, this is another news. I told you I woke up from a half a hangover. And I see Tom Brady came back. I'm like, goodness. And then on another one, I'm on a half hangover again. You know, Vegas, there's no times for hangover, so I'm half hungover. I look with one eye and I see Carlitos is gone to the fucking Minnesota Twins is what I said. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I said, the Twins! And somebody said, shut the fuck up, I'm rolling. My bad. But the Minnesota Twins, so then I start looking into the details of the contract. And I said, oh my God, we couldn't match that? And that's where we start this conversation. What is it? Is it a fact that we couldn't match it, didn't want to match it because we have other pieces in place? What do you guys think? The phone line's open for you. Dre, you're in the house. I know you're Astros guy. What was it? 281-522-6336, because there's many theories. There's many theories coming out now. We're hearing rumors of that maybe the Astros didn't make a push in the last week and they ghosted them. rumors that Carlos Correa's mom also posted to her Instagram that gave her some kind of justification, right? Or is this a matter of Carlos wants people close to him to hear what they want him to say? What is it? What is it? Did the Astros do enough? Are you pissed off at what situation here? Can you be pissed off at the player? Don't hate the player, hate the game? Who's the game here? Is it the Astros side that, I mean, when you think about Georgie, right? And you think about George Springer, whenever that shit went down, it hurt, right? But when you thought, man, all right, Springer's gone. What did every Astro fan think right there? They said, man, if Springer's gone, though, that's Carlos's money. And that Carlos's money, is it Carlos's money now? I don't know. I don't know what to say here, Aaron. That was a punch in the damn gut that I didn't want to hear on vacation.
It was, I tweeted it out, waking up to that. That was a shit headline to greet me in the morning. My brother and I had a good talk about this yesterday. Over the weekend. He's a big baseball guy. So am I. It's that fact that the Twins said he can opt out after every single year. You got a 3-year deal? Well, obviously you'll get the opt-out at the end of that 3-year deal because both of us get the opt-out. But you want to opt out after first year? Cool. You want to opt out after second year? Cool. It's the Twins had nothing to lose. The Twins weren't going to win anything. The Twins are trying to win. No, they're not. They wanted to sell some T-shirts. They wanted to sell some tickets. Good for them. They're not going to contend really in the AL Central? Yeah, AL Central. With the White Sox, the Tigers are supposed to be good. The White Sox scare the living bejesus out of me right now. But they had nothing to lose. They are the desperate chick at the bar or you ever had the buddy who's, he was dating a girl who was so desperate she would let him do whatever the hell would happen.
She does things.
They said, you know what? You want to leave me after 1 year? Cool. No big deal. The Astros, everybody, Aggie Milkman, you want to say the Astros are cheap. The Astros still have a high payroll. They still are paying guys like Justin Verlander, like Jose Altuve, like Alex Bregman. Are they paying them top? Justin Verlander's getting top of the market money, but are they paying Alex Bregman? No, they didn't have to.
Did we lose the attitude though? Something like, and I'm not saying just because he stood up on camera one time and said something. I'm just saying, who's left there? I lost a lot of, not faith of Breggs as a player, but last year in that position, not having the balls to say, you know what, I am hurt, man. Put me lower in the lineup. Remember, it took a while for that. Remember when Altuve was in that predicament? And if Altuve has the balls to say, you know what, just put me down in the lineup. I ain't hitting right now. You feel me? He had the chance. And remember, once in this lifetime, you remember that story? And you remember last year, Bregman, and he was struggling heavily. I just don't feel like, who do we got now? Like, is this the official end of that era? Like, are you content with them paying an old ass Verlander coming off of an injury? You should, I start looking at a lot of these pieces and I start thinking, man, and I know that Verlander even just even saying Verlander out there, people start throwing bottles and shit. But I'm saying, man, that's an old ass dude. Yeah, I know, Cy Young type. Yes, I understand that. But that's an old ass arm coming off of some injury, So, what are you going to get there? What were you going to get at Correa? At least you knew that you had that. That's the last, to me. Yes, Altuve's still there and all that. And yes, you're going to have Bregman. And yes, you still have Yordan. But it's to me, it's man. And yes, Carlos, we know for a fact that he went cold in some parts of the fucking postseason. Yes, I understand that. But whenever you had him at whether when he was hitting or if he didn't, when he's not hitting, that motherfucker could play shortstop with the best of them. That don't forget that gun. That boy will turn around and turn to, or he's throwing you out no matter whatever. We lost that. Who's left over some? Okay, I understand the house, but I think if you offer him why did you at the end, towards the end, then you start hearing the Astros are about to come to the table with another deal. It's why did you wait to the end? Why didn't you just give it to the front? And I know, okay, you can't give him everything. I understand that, but fuck. To lose him, just to me, man, it leaves me with a bad taste in my mouth.
Yes and no. So the Astros offered him a big money deal. It was just not the years that he wanted at the end of the season. And that was the talk, is that, yeah, it was the money he wanted, but he wanted more than 6 years guaranteed. Okay. Then you can't talk to him through the lockout. You come out of the lockout, you touch sides again. You go, hey, where are we at on this? Okay, you want to rework things? All right, let's rework things. I'm okay with the Astros not signing that deal that says you can have an out after every year. One, you don't need this distraction. You don't need this bullshit of, well, do I want to stay? Do I want to go? Well, I didn't perform as much as I wanted to, so I'm just going to stick around. But, oh, I did hit 30 home runs. You know what? I'm going to go test. No, done with that. Who was it that pointed it out?
Virginia Button okay, let me ask you this, because a lot of people are saying it's because of Pena, because the Astros think they have. And, of course, the point is Correa isn't $30 million worth in Pena. Of course not. Of course not. But Pena is a blessing in disguise, basically. So because you got one blessing in disguise, you're going to take away another one that still maybe hasn't panned out. Let me ask you guys this. One, if no, two, if yes. Did Correa never ended up really hitting the pinnacle of what we thought he was going to be, right? Consistently? Yep. Because when we talk about what he was supposed to be, he was supposed to be that dude. Was he that consistently over time? One, no, or did you say, yeah, did Correa live up to the name at least as his time as an Astro, or was there too many gaps in there in a lot of big moments that you think, man, was it more of we just fell in love with the ball player himself rather than what was actually produced? That's a good question. Did he live up to it? No. Donna, no. Aggie Milkman, no. And that's where you start weighing yourself, because you're saying at that point he wanted to get paid like he did, fulfill expectations of to where he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Not just an everyday ball player where you're like, man, no, he was way better than an everyday ball player. Shut the fuck up. No, I understand that. I'm saying if Correa was supposed to be pinnacle of the game, like Correa was that dude when did he live up to that?
No. And Donna has it right. He was injured too often. He didn't perform at the plate at certain times. It took him a long time. The thought was at this point, the Astros were going to be signing a guy who you said, you know what, give me 2 more years. He's already a lock for the Hall of Fame. That's not what he is. He is nowhere near being a lock. He needs a good 6-7 year run, maybe 5 if I'm being real, to be a Hall of Famer. He's nowhere near that, and he's not worth that kind of money. Now,
in other words, he was supposed to be able to be way over Altuve quicker, right?
Yeah.
And as it ended now, he doesn't even touch Altuve's britches as an Astro.
No.
We're not even talking about on the national stage of ball players. He can't even touch Altuve as an Astro.
No. And it's I will say for the Jeremy Pena talk, yes, I've heard his bat is going to take some work to get him up to speed with, he was starting to rake in minor leagues last year. It's going to take a while to see if he can actually match and start hitting up on the major league level, which it takes time. That's fine. But I've also talked to somebody who, was out there at Sugarland Skeeter games when they were the Skeeters and watched him play shortstop at times and watched him play in the minors and went, no, defensively, you're not losing much. Yes, Carlos had more experience. Carlos is more of a, he's got the seasoning vet that a vet has. Carlos or Pena isn't far behind that. Yeah. Pena isn't going to take, 4 years to become what Carlos is now. He's going to take maybe a year or 2, but it's not going to be a 4-year building thing in the majors for him. Now, will his bat ever catch up? I don't know. But you've got some bats right now. You've got bats where you can work him in and you can put him at the bottom of the lineup with Maldonado and say, all right, everybody else figure it out. You guys actually do the hitting. Let him solidify his defense. Let him get on the number 1 sheet for the defense, and then we'll work on the hitting. Let him see if he can catch up on his own to defense. I still think the Astros aren't done making moves. I still think that the trade deadline is going to be a very hot time for the Astros. I think they're going to end up pulling in, because people I talked to over the weekend, they need more arms. They need more arms. Well, give it some time. You've got, everybody hates this name. You've got Josh James coming off injury. If McCullers can actually take simulated batting practice soon and start pitching in some minor league games to get real life action, he comes back and he can hold it up for the rest of the season. I like that. You've got time. You've got all the way up until the trade deadline to go find another arm. Another arm or 2, another bat if you need it. Are they set at the outfield? I don't think so.
Virginia Button goes, Forrest Whitley time. Come on down.
Yeah, good job with that one. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
But breakups, makers and breakups was the theme of today's show. As you can see when we talk, right here, let me get my man Dr. Dre on. Give me 1 second here.
So, yeah, I want to see Dre's opinion on this too, but I don't hate the fact. I'm unhappy emotionally that Carlos is gone, but mentally, I'm okay with it.
What's going on, Dr. Dre? What's happening, my brother? What are your thoughts on this Correa situation?
Say, man, the king is here, man. it's time to talk some Jim Crane. Okay, look, the man is cheap. Don't. Yeah. He's been spending money. Yeah. Guess what? He's still making money on top of all that money that he's spending. He's still making it. Now the problem is, Carlos Correa is a premier shortstop. You keep your core together. At least one more year. I don't need to hear that stuff about, oh, we don't need this year after year after year. Man, look, let's keep the team together as long as we can. All right. I feel like Crane is going in the cheaper route. You know, Crane's lied to us about, yes, we're going back into negotiations. Don't forget last year at the deadline, oh, yeah, we're going to spend more money. We're going to pick up some players to help solidify the team as we go into the playoffs. Did they do it? No.
Nope.
They didn't go over the luxury tax as they said they would. And the fact is, Crane's hesitant to pay that luxury tax. I don't know why he's so scared. He's making money hand over fist.
How do you feel as a season ticket holder, though? It's not as easy as being like when the Texans, they did it so long to us that it's like, you know what? I'm not buying season tickets, but with the Astros, you're tied so much to them, right? That it's like, how many more chances are you giving Crane before you fucking say, man, what the hell?
I'm going to give him until the deadline. I'll give him that opportunity to make a move. If you go out and get a big pitcher, you know, a starting pitcher, to make a move and make a splash and help solidify the team, all right, I'll accept it. But if you don't, and you stay pat at where you're at money-wise, you know, I'll be done. I'll be done as a season ticket holder.
Okay, Dre, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You complained that they didn't make any moves at the trade deadline last year. They didn't spend like they said they were going to. They made it back to the World Series. They don't make any moves. You say if they don't make any moves this year at the trade deadline, they make it back to the World Series. You're done as a season ticket holder? They make it back. They make it within one game of the World Series. They make it to Game 7 of the ALCS.
Okay, well, that can change the perception, yes. If they do get to the ALCS and they get to Game 6, Game 7.
The point is that they keep letting these guys go and they keep winning. You know, everybody bitched about Garrett Cole. Everybody bitched about, you know, Dallas Keuchel, Carlos Correa.
This is the last of the nucleus, though. You know what I mean? This is
right.
But you can rebuild. But teams aren't built like that forever.
It just, I think that us as Houston fans,
I'll give you.
We're scared, right? Like at the end of the day, man, it's like I feel that window, and don't get me wrong, we got spoiled, and yes, they kept going to fucking World Series and getting win one game with their, or you know, they have to get reverse swept at home to lose one. Yes, I understand this. But still, it felt like the window that they had, right? They should have accomplished a little bit more. And if they had the chance to keep what we call the nucleus, that's a strong ass word. Who's the nucleus now? Like when we talk about who's the nucleus now, you're gonna give it to Altuve, obviously, but who is there? It'd be Correa, because Bregman, you can't fucking trust Bregman. He's injured all the time too.
Yep, Altuve and Bregman, their contracts are up after the 2024 season. Back to what we were talking about, spending the money. If you make it to Game 6 or Game 7 of the ALCS and you don't spend the money, that kind of compounds my madness, because guess what? If you went out and got a good, you know, frontline starter or a legitimate center fielder and you solidify your team, guess what? You win those games and you make it to the World Series.
Yeah.
You know? And let me bring in another example for we make it to the playoffs. We're supposed to win this division, man. You know, Seattle's coming up. You know, they're going to be a problem. Oakland's going back down. You know, Rangers are the Rangers, of course, right? Total Dallas. But I compare it to the Atlanta Braves of the mid-'90s and early 2000s. They won 14 divisions in a row. How many World Series did they win? I don't want to be that. I want to win another ring, man. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. And we're going to leave it right there. We want to win rings. We weren't here just to show up to the dance. We're trying to we're trying to get in the drawers. Let's be real. You didn't go to the dance not to get in the drawers. Thanks for the call, Dr. Dre. And then right there, we're going to end the breakups. We're going to go to Bo Vegas Diaries because it's 2 o'clock. We're going to give you overtime, guys. We're going to get out of here. You guys want overtime? What are we going to do here? It's the first show back in over a week. And then we came back and we couldn't even get on Monday because we get delayed. And here we are, and we're talking about overtime. Overtime? It ain't sober time, I'll tell you right now, because these are the Bo Vegas Diaries. The sober time is what this guy needed. Check this guy out. What goes up must come down. This was at the cabana party next to us. This was at the bungalow next to us. Look, this guy tried for 2 hours. Look how wasted he was. I'm in the pool, so excuse my phone because I just jump out the pool like. I'm like, man, I got to get this on camera. He's thinking long and hard. Come on, boy, you can do it. You can do it. Look, we're like, yeah.
Let's go. He's up. He's up.
Uh-oh.
Tank.
Look at him.
Nah.
Better catch him, Jerry.
Insurance.
I ain't got insurance. I jumped right back in there where I was in the hot tub. Back here. See? How much did he, how do you get to that?
That's how you get to it.
A lot of
Drink,
su-
drink. What to quote Lil Jon? I wish I knew his real name. Shot. I can keep going because a
said
dude
it.
that size, that's about 12 shots easily.
Boys were from Nashville. We had the cabana in the middle. These boys had the left one to us. They ended up real cool. I thought his name was Timmy the whole time. They're like, who the hell is Timmy? I'm like, this fool. They're like, no, that ain't Timmy. Still don't remember his name now, but Timmy couldn't get up.
Yes, Pookie. Jerry's cheer was "Do it for America," trying to get him up.
No, okay, this is what I was telling my wife. And then walking through a casino, I said, it's funny because if you ever just walk in doing just random anything, no matter where you're at, and somebody just does some shit like, hey, chug that beer, or you want to go out, and just whatever, you chug that, do it for America. Like, just the phrase, motherfuckers just get live. Like, you know what? I am going to do it for America. And they're not even American sometimes, right? They're like, fuck it. Now, I figured it would put the spirit into them of America.
You were hoping he was doing the Hulk Hogan, just arm. Oh, he's coming.
Doubt it, man.
You got the shakes. You got the shakes of the Hulkamaniacs coming for him.
And then you saw it. He had shakes, but it wasn't that. I'm surprised.
Those are the bad shakes.
And these are the kind of parties that that was the only guy that got like that. Again, he was from another party. They were drinking Sky vodka and all types of stuff they were going hard, those boys from Tennessee. They were from Tennessee. Shout out to those guys, man. Badass dudes. But again, party goes wild. Bo Vegas Diaries. What goes up must come down. Let's get to the next one here. Actually, this next one, don't even get to the video just yet. Pause that. While we were talking about this, Astros, check this out, y'all. Bo Vegas Diaries. Check out this story. So, I'm walking into a bar. Could have been an adult establishment. I ain't got no reason. We're partying. I'm solo with my wife, about to go meet up with some peeps. I'm walking in. 3 dudes sitting right at the front. You ask yourself, what do you do? Ask me, listen to this story, you tell me what you would do. So I'm walking up, and I don't give a damn if somebody says something about the Astros, but it's just the way. I'm walking by, and I kind of go by, what's up, my man? And guy just he goes out of his way. I'm past him, points at me, and puts his finger in my face, and he's like, man, fuck the Astros, because I got an Astros hat on. At that point, I'm smoking a joint, right? I'm walking. I'm in Vegas, blowing, right? I start thinking to myself, I look and it's 3 of them. It's 1 of me. Swear to God, on my kids, this is a true story. My wife would probably watching, she'd tell you she was right there. Said, man, what's about to go down right here? I could just walk in this bar. Maybe I had a couple of whiskeys in me. I'm like, man, here we go. So he's looking at me, and this is about, it's a 10 seconds, but it's a long 10 seconds because you think about what happens if you keep it real. And I say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm keeping this real. I hit that doobie one last time so I can enjoy it in case it was my last ever. I look at him. I say, fuck that. And I flick it right in his face. And it was the best flick ever you can have. Bam! Right in the face. Ash. Poof. Big boy. It's like this boy unfolded to a big creature. So at this point, you start reading the situation. Wife backs up, and he's just kind of like, oh, he starts forgetting that he even called me a bitch and said, fuck you, right? He's like, fuck you, bitch. I'm like, he's like, you don't throw shit at people. I said, shit, you just going to call me some bitch? So I'm looking back, making sure what his boys are doing. I got to make sure I give myself space so his boys can't catch him, right? So I'm like, let's see what this fool's about. So I kind of back up. Now we're in this parking lot. I'm like, man, fuck. I did not expect this shit. I'm just trying to go drink. You ain't going to do me like that, dog. You just caught the wrong one. I caught to my left, though, that his boys weren't about that business because they run to the fucking car. They were waiting on a ride. Them boys jump in the car. So at that point, I realized them boys are soft. So I said, man, this boy was big. So when my wife is right there, I'm like, man, this boy cocks back, but he does one of those Oman cocks back, and he's like, come on. And he's just like, hold it. And the whole time I'm like, you just calling motherfucker bitches, and then finally he just kind of put his fist down, and he just kind of like says some shit. I'm like, man, and he just kind of just runs in that car and just jumps in. At which point, when he's running off, I look at my wife and I'm like, oh, these are some real life bitches. And so I just run I run my mouth again. I'm like, damn, 3 dudes. I said, I told my wife, if somebody would have flicked some shit on me and we're 3 deep, I don't even know what would have happened to that dude. Either way, in the middle of this whole ruckus, you know, we're rolling. And motherfucker throws out, I'm a Dodgers fan. I'm like, I was hoping he said like Yankees or something, you know? And he's like, I'm a Dodgers fan. At which point we're arguing. It's like a, you know, he's like, fuck that. I'm a Dodgers fucking. I'm like, man, fuck you. You ain't doing shit. And all because this fool, what was his business? You know what I mean? Now I could have kept my mouth shut and walked in, but you know what? Sometimes you just say, fuck that. I'm from Houston. And that's exactly what happened there.
I mean, the second he said he's a Dodgers fan, you go, oh, yeah, never mind. They stab each other. Dodgers fans ain't one to fuck with because they'll stab people over nothing because, well, murder is basically legal in L.A. right now.
Man, and again, that's what I tell my wife, man, because those are stupid situations. I'm not trying to make this story because it makes you sound like something bad. No, it was stupid. That's what I tell my wife. I don't get in those situations because I don't put myself in those situations because I know if those situations go down, it's like, man, what are you? Man, yeah, fuck that. But at some point, I said, man, fuck you. Who are you? Like, I don't even know who you are. I would just say, what's up, my man, getting by. Well, he makes it a point to put his finger in my face. Fuck. He said, man, I ain't even worried about that. So it's more like you're saying, fuck me. You know, it's like, you know what? Nah, man. And it just goes to show you how these boys think of the Astros out there. Like, no matter where you go for the rest of our lives, this era, and that ties into what we're talking about with the Correa stuff, this era is going to be tied to that, and whether these players are gone, and once Altuve's gone, and remember, they were already most of them gone, and they kept saying that in the World Series last year, right? Like, the core of that team's not even here. This guy wasn't there. None of these guys are here. Why do you still hate them when none of them are there? When you and I are dead, the Astros will still get hated on for that shit, and people in Vegas in a random ass place are gonna stick their fucking fingers in your grandkids' face one day about the Astros. So I hope that they conduct themselves the same way. Fuck the Dodgers in that case, or you know what? Not the fans. Fuck that dude. You know, because I got probably some LA fans in here. You know, and it's like, you know what? They didn't even have to do. I'm not gonna go point at him, but I was hoping I didn't have. I'm like, man, I just wanted in the middle of a fight. I couldn't just yell out, you know what? What, just because Kershaw sucks, you know? Bitch, Kershaw always chokes. Bing,
yeah.
You know? Fuck Jansen. Boom. You know, like, what are you going to say at that point? I'm just like, man, here we go. Let's get to the next Bo Vegas Diaries. All right, check this out. Caesars Rewards. You sign up, you get your name. Eventually, someone's going to get to crank this money. Well, this money here is pretty real. And people have been thinking, so look at all the ripped dollars. Somebody said, let me rip this shit. People were running by trying to tick off and steal the hundreds, like on the low. Look, rip money. People are wild. Look, bro. That's a cut hundred. It's not real. Look, everyone's trying to rip. There's rip ones on the other side? Yeah. Watch. I could just run out of here with money. Somebody tried to take off with the Benji. That said, bro. What are y'all doing? Look, somebody said, I need those 2 Benjis right there. Boys are fools. Vegas, people thinking, you got to be real drunk, right? To think, and man.
I mean.
I can get away with this.
Yeah, alcohol is the only reason that you think that you're going to walk up to a box like that with actual money attached to it, and you're going to be able to just grab it and run. You're dumber than dumb. Like, if you're a sober dude doing that, you know what? You're banned from the casino for life. You're not allowed to. If you're that stupid, you probably have somebody changing your diapers every day. You probably need somebody to spoon feed you just to make sure that you don't choke on a piece of mac and cheese. Come on now. You're a child. That's what I'm getting at. You're a toddler if you think that the casino just put probably what? $1,500, $2,000 sitting there attached real money to a thing, and you could just easily just grab it and walk away. Get the fuck out of here with that.
That's what people are trying to do. Be grimy in Vegas. The Vegas Diaries. This is what you're getting. And the things you see, people think, come on. And if that was money and you could just run away with it, check this out. Things at the cabana. The only bad thing about the cabana that I could say was this. The banana boat nobody wanted to see. We're in the middle of partying in this private cabana and through this. Look, this is a gap in the bushes. I look up. I'm like, what is this neon greenish orange thing floating in the water? Well, nothing was floating in the water. This was an old ass dick. This guy was dick to the sky, just laying there. Like, bro, I didn't even catch him. I felt awkward because he went into some stretches. My man was doing like yoga in this thing, and all you would see like ass cheek hanging out of the back. And I'm like, man, finally somebody came and gave him like, man, you can't be doing all this. Like, you're hurting the crowd. Like no one wants to sit around you. This was after the stretches. He was just relaxing. He put it to the air. Like, man, ain't nobody kicking me out. The banana boat nobody wanted to see.
Yeah. I have a feeling like Donna and Cece might be all excited about this, but no. If you're that dude, I'm leaving the pool.
Nah, I guarantee you.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to go over and I'm going to say, hey, I'll buy you a beer if you put actual clothes on, dude.
Nah, he wasn't worried about nothing. I'm telling you. They had to come and tell you he was doing stretches, like, and he wasn't doing them by his seat. He was sitting on the little edge.
Did he lose his fantasy football league and maybe that's a punishment?
No, this boy had chains and like real chains. This boy was foreign and he was not worried about what anybody had to say. I'm telling you, when they came, he had an old lady with him, and when they walked him out, he was just like kind of pissed. He was pissed. He was just like, what are y'all doing? He was sitting on the corner.
The hell out of here with that.
He was sitting on the edge of the pool area, you know, that little edge, and he was just kind of balancing, just kind of just stretching, just doing different stretches. Like, dog, the last banana boat I was trying to see.
Shit, I mean, if somebody paid me enough money, I think I would do it once for like 10 minutes just to like get people's reactions on camera. But you're out of your mind.
And then the last piece of Vegas, tell me this is one of the saddest racks. I'm walking through Vegas and look at this. Them boys were quick. Mayfield, 50% off. A lot of broken dreams. Broken dream. Broken TikToks. Broken contracts. That's a sad wreck right there.
I mean, that was one of my favorite things to do when I was younger and cheap and in college is you wait till a Texan get cut or you wait till an Astro gets cut and you go out there and you go to Ross or something like that. You grab that Matt Schaub jersey for $8. I've got one still hanging in my closet. I've got a Rafer Alston jersey, swingman jersey that I got for $12 in Dallas the day he got traded. Like
you like $12?
Yeah, I was like, swingman. Yeah, a buddy of mine bought one too, and he went and he unstitched the letters and then went and stitched his last name in on it.
And we're gonna end the show on that note. We're gonna stitch our names on Tuesday, March 22nd, the official day back. We made it back in one piece, kind of. We try to hold it down for you. We try to hold it down for it. We'll be back to things as normal. We're going to try to do a man hold up, a special edition as that as well, of things that have come up and everything that's going to come up because there's still news in the horizon and there's still March Madness and there's still brackets to win. So on that note, I'm going to leave you in the hands of these marbles and hopefully your marbles can fly because you can get one of those Sweet 16 teams. If you don't know what's going on, Aaron's going to let you know right here, but I'm going to sign off right now. I am Jerry Bow at Jerry Bow Sports. I love y'all so much. We're going to kick it off this week. We're going to keep doing things like we always do. Tell your friends. Let's blow this thing up. I got a big crawfish boil thing that I'm going to throw down for nothing but the listeners. And there's going to be a way to win your way in. And I'm going to get out free crawfish. We're going to do a big-ass shindig. I'm going to let you know how we're going to do that. You got to check the show out Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. I love y'all so much. Peace.
All right, Twitch. Let's see. Let me get this marble race set up. We're going to do 2 more today. Let's see. We'll do 2 more today for the Sweet 16 giveaway. And then we'll go from there. As soon as this damn thing loads. Let's see. You still here? JM Sizzle. Okay, you had questions about a marble race. The marble race is completely random. When you hit your exclamation point play on the race, you have no control over what your marble does. It's all just how they go through the random obstacle course, and whoever wins, wins. All right, let's do another one then. Aggie Milkman, you don't tell me what to do. You don't tell me what to do. You're not my dad. You're not my mom either. So we're going to do 2 more today. We're going to do first place and 5th place. You're going to be entered into that drawing, and you'll get a Sweet 16 team. All right. I'm going to give you a minute and a half. Exclamation point play in the chat. Get your marble in there. There's still what? 20-something of y'all? Get in there. Get your marble. And then we'll run this. And then as soon as we're done with that, I will hand you guys over to Barry on deck. You can go have some fun with him. Aggie Milkman, I'm going to turn the brakes off on your chair. I'll let you roll down a hill. Keep talking shit like that. All right, 30 more seconds if you want your marble in there. First place and 5th place are getting an extra, or getting a team. And you can only get one team. All right, we're going to start this thing in 10 seconds. And we'll let the balls roll where they may. There's 20-something y'all in here, and only 10 of y'all want to race? All right, that's fine. Well, good luck to y'all who actually have better odds because, you know, there's only 10 people racing this time instead of 20-something. Let's do this. And everybody's off. Look at that. I don't know how it says Aggie Milkman's in front. I don't think it knows who's in front right now. Not with the cone of death. Oh, somebody made it through. Always one team. There you go. Woo! B. Hannon's in 2nd. Reyes in 3rd. Posh in 4th. Always one team's got a commanding lead here going forward right now. Hey, would you quit it? I can't control this camera to save my life right now. Oh, let's see if he gets stuck. Oh, he does in the giant turbine. Potch Gaming comes out of it. I don't want to say squeaky clean. Well, not anymore. Jimenez takes the lead now. Look at that. B. Hannon back in 2nd. Chris in 3rd. JG in 4th. What's up, JG? I feel like it's been forever since we did marble races. Maybe I should figure out how to do it when if I do my own little late night Twitch thing next week. Oh yeah, I'll tell you guys about that later on. Still working on details if I want to do it while my wife's at work next week. Let's see. I don't think it knows who's in first right now because I keep clicking on first place and it has no idea. Chris Reyes is in first. All right, that makes more sense. And Jimenez is in 2nd. Wow, Chris Reyes got that bump. Got thrown out of that little turbine. Alex is in 3rd. Chris is in 1st. Jimenez in 2nd. Let's see, who's in 5th right now? Right now, you got B. Hannon in 5th. Let's see how that works out. B. Hannon, if I'm you, I'm crossing my fingers and praying that you stay right there. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Chris Reyes wins. All right, now let's go find 5th place. 5th place is gonna be, wow, it's just bouncing around who's in 5th place right now. Cuse Orange is in 2nd. Always one team is in fifth. Now you suck. I don't think it knows. Aggie Milkman's going for a ride. Bye, Aggie Milkman. That sucks. Oh, let's see. Potch Gaming. Oh, Potch is gonna. If he falls. Are you gonna fall into the? Oh. Potch Gaming. Potch Gaming was literally in fifth place. We had 10 of y'all racing and 6 of y'all didn't make it. What the hell are y'all talking about? Are you out of your minds? Y'all's marbles suck. I expect y'all to go polish them up, get them ready to go for tomorrow's races, because we're going to do some even more, because we still got, that's 4 of them. We've got 12 more to give out between tomorrow's 2 races and then 1 race on Thursday. We'll have to figure it out. But congratulations to Chris Reyes and Potch Gaming. You guys are in for the Sweet 16 contest. And let me set this up. We'll go raid Barry, and you guys go have fun with good old Barry on deck. Be back here at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Tell all your friends, tell your family, tweet it out, put it on Facebook, Insta, Snapchat, whatever you do. Make sure you tell people. The more people we have, the better. The bigger this party is. No Q's Orange. Potch came in 5th, technically, so he gets it. But you still got time. You still got 3 more races to get you a spot. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Have fun with Barry. Peace.